here is 3 things you have to do on your first date. So the first one, you have to make the date about her. You have to be the one that are really curious about her day-by-day life. You're doing it by asking questions, letting her express herself fully with you, listening carefully. So don't try to make the date too much about you, where you are going to tell a lot of things about your interest, your stories, experiences and so on, your work. No. Try not to say so much about yourself. I mean, obviously you should say something about yourself, but you have to keep it in short and concise. Keep it to a minimum and focus much more about her. So have the mindset of making the first date about her, with you being curious and a good listener. And step number 2, you have to in some way convey future plans with her. So when you are out on a first date, already like in the middle of that date, you should come up with ideas of things that you and her can do in the future. That requires listening skills as well, because when you're asking about her life, you have to find out what she likes to do. That also could be something that you would like to do. And once you spot those moments, those situations, you're just going to propose future plans. It doesn't have to be super serious, but you have to mention. I can give you an example. Let's say she likes ice skating. And then you can come up with something like, you know what, we should ice skating together, because I always wanted to be good at ice skating and I'm not. So that would be a fun thing to do. That is like planting the seed for future event. And there is always things that comes up on the first date. So make sure that you're planting those seeds. And now the third one, you have to keep the first date pretty short. I mean, there's always exceptions from that rule, but overall, the first date should not be too long, because most women, and especially those that have a lot of male attention, they want to learn to know you in a certain pace. I know you probably heard a lot of stories about guys taking her home so she can sleep with that woman on the first date, but that is definitely an exception from the rule. The rule itself, according to the American Psychology Association, according to behavioral science and all that, a clear indication of when to really advance romantically with a woman is laying everything between the 3rd to the 6th date. So it takes time before women feel comfortable enough to be intimate with you. So it's a much better way to keep a good intensive first date for maybe about an hour and a half, and then cut the date. You can use something called a false time restraint, meaning that you can say that, oh, I have to go to a meeting soon, or I have to really go away now because I have classes, or whatever you have as an excuse. But you can really, just cut the date to a certain amount of time, so you can make sure that you're going to have a good second date. Because I've seen guys not doing that a lot, and then they just going on with the date for hours and after hours and hours, and eventually she have to break the date. And when she breaks that date at that particular time, the energy level drops. So you don't want to end up with the first date when the energy is low. You want to end the first date when the energy is pretty high. So that is my tip. My strongest 3 tips. Anyway, guys, make sure to watch my next video.